The richest country in the world is battling a crisis it seems unable or unwilling to solve. On sidewalks in major cities, in parks, under bridges, and in alleyways, hundreds of thousands of people are living in tents. These makeshift shelters, built from scraps of plastic, tarps, and broken-down canvas, have become a symbol of America's growing homelessness crisis. From Los Angeles to New York, from San Francisco to Seattle, this problem is no longer hidden in the shadows. It's out in the open, spreading across urban neighborhoods, invading middle-class communities, and overwhelming local services. This is not a temporary issue. This is not a problem that only affects the mentally ill or the addicted. This is not something that people can simply pull themselves out of if they try hard enough. The tent cities are not just filled with the unemployed, but also with people who have jobs, with veterans, the elderly, and even families with children. This is the story of a nation struggling to provide shelter in a country filled with empty homes. Picture this. You're walking through downtown Los Angeles. As you turn a corner, you come across an entire row of tents lining the sidewalk. There's a man crouched by a small camping stove, boiling water. A woman is brushing her teeth with bottled water. A teenager, wearing a hoodie 2 sizes too big, is sleeping on a flattened cardboard box. All around them, the city moves on. Cars honk, lights change, pedestrians walk by avoiding eye contact. These scenes are not rare anymore. In fact, in many cities, they are expected. What used to be isolated camps tucked away in hidden corners are now growing into full-blown communities in public view. Tent cities are popping up near schools, government buildings, and even tourist attractions. The tents provide some shelter, but no real safety. They offer no plumbing, no electricity, and no insulation against harsh weather. When it rains, people get soaked. When it's hot, they bake in the sun. When it's cold, they wrap themselves in blankets and huddle together. There's no garbage pickup. There are no toilets. Many rely on public restrooms in libraries or fast food restaurants. Others use buckets or go behind bushes. These conditions are inhumane, yet this is reality for hundreds of thousands of people across the United States. To understand how we got to this point, we have to look back. In the 1980s, mental institutions were shut down across the country with the promise that communities would provide support instead. That support never fully materialized. Around the same time, the federal government started pulling back from building affordable housing. Wages stagnated. The cost of living rose. Rent skyrocketed. And slowly but surely, more and more people fell through the cracks. Today, America simply does not have enough affordable homes. In many major cities, the average rent for a 1-bedroom apartment is over $2,000 per month. That's more than most minimum wage workers make in a month before taxes. Then came the opioid epidemic. Then came COVID-19. Both of these crises pushed people already on the edge into full-blown homelessness. Layoffs, hospital bills, lost loved ones. These events all played a part. And once someone ends up on the street, it becomes nearly impossible to get back. Without a mailing address, applying for jobs is difficult. Without an ID, it's hard to access benefits. Without a shower or clean clothes, it's hard to sit through a job interview. People end up trapped in a cycle of survival. There's a stereotype about the homeless, that they're all drug addicts or mentally ill, that they're lazy, or that they choose to live on the street. While those situations do exist, they don't tell the whole story. Many homeless people in America today are working. They go to jobs during the day and come back to tents at night because they can't afford rent. Some are delivery drivers, cooks, cleaners, and security guards. Others are veterans who served their country and came home to nothing. There are families too. Mothers with infants, kids trying to do homework by the light of a flashlight, couples who lost their homes due to a medical emergency or a landlord's decision to raise the rent. The elderly population is also growing in homeless communities. Social Security payments haven't kept up with the cost of living, and many seniors are ending up on the streets after being priced out of apartments they lived in for decades. No one group defines homelessness. It's a wide mix of people who have one thing in common. They've run out of options. Living in a tent means being exposed to the elements, but also to crime, disease, and constant stress. Theft is common. Violence is frequent. Some women sleep during the day and stay awake at night for safety. Others keep knives or bats under their blankets. Sanitation is a constant problem. Trash piles up. Rats and insects spread. Diseases like hepatitis, tuberculosis, and even trench foot reappear in tent cities. Without regular access to showers or medical care, minor infections can turn deadly. The mental strain of this life is overwhelming. The constant noise, the fear, the lack of privacy, it all takes a toll. Many suffer from depression, anxiety, and PTSD. Some turn to drugs just to numb the pain. Others isolate themselves, afraid of what each new day might bring. Police often do sweeps, where they clear out tent encampments. People are told to move, their belongings thrown away. Then they're pushed somewhere else, only for the same thing to happen again later. This isn't a solution. It's just moving the problem around. Cities across America are trying different things. Some invest in temporary shelters, tiny home villages, or sanctioned tent areas with bathrooms and security. Others try to build more affordable housing, but the process is slow and expensive. Then there are cities that focus on criminalizing homelessness, banning camping in public, issuing fines, or arresting people for loitering. But where are people supposed to go if there's nowhere else? A shelter bed might seem like a solution, but shelters are often overcrowded, unsafe, or full of rules that make them difficult to live in, especially for people with mental illness, pets, or partners. Many prefer the freedom of a tent over the chaos of a shelter. Some places are trying housing first programs, which give people homes without conditions and then offer support. These have seen success, but they require funding, patience, and political will, things often in short supply. Some people think the homelessness crisis doesn't affect them because they have a home, a job, a stable life. But this problem touches everyone. When tent cities grow, public health becomes an issue. Crime can rise, public spaces become unsafe, businesses suffer, cities spend millions managing the fallout, emergency services, cleanups, legal battles, and more. Beyond the economic cost, there's a moral one. What kind of society lets people live like this? What does it say about us when we walk past suffering without a second glance? The truth is, most Americans are closer to homelessness than they realize. A single medical emergency, job loss, or eviction could put many on the same path. The problem isn't them, it's all of us. Solving homelessness won't happen overnight, but we can start by treating it as the emergency it is. That means more affordable housing, more mental health care, better wages, and smarter policies. We need to stop criminalizing poverty and start addressing its root causes. We need more transitional housing, more support for addiction and mental illness, and more focus on preventing homelessness before it begins. We also need empathy. Every tent you see on the street is a person with a story, a struggle, and a desire to survive. They don't want to live like this. They want a chance. This crisis is complex, but not impossible to fix. Other countries have done better. So can we. Tents are meant for camping trips, not survival in the richest nation on earth. Yet every night, in cities from coast to coast, men, women, and children sleep under plastic tarps and canvas roofs. They deserve better. We all do. Until we face this crisis head-on, with urgency, compassion, and action, the tents will keep multiplying, and so will the suffering. This isn't just a crisis on the streets. It's a crisis of the soul of America. Let's do better, because no one should have to live this way.